Welcome, welcome. Let me just check to make sure I'm live. And we're going to get started. And my eyelash is going to stay in place. All right, let's see here. So this is If Camila Cabello's Havana Were a Christian Song by Becca Shea. All right, here we go. All right, Republic. Okay, here we go. What's up, everybody? Turn my comments on. Yeah. I've got a good one for you guys today. It's talking about the importance of self-care in our recovery. And it's so important, you guys. We've been talking about this in my Mara meetings. It's been powerful, powerful, powerful. All right. Welcome. You guys, I'm like all official now, you know. I've got a microphone and headphones and the StreamYard and all of this. I want to thank my friend, Pastor Paul. Paulie Barra has hooked me up. And if you need anybody to help you with video editing, I'm just going to have to take this off, you guys. This is going to drive me nuts. If you need anybody to help you with video editing, he is your guy. He did this banner for me. And he did the background, he did the overlay, he's hooked me up with this microphone. So definitely want to give a shout out to my friend, Pastor Paulie Barra. Okay, so let's talk about the importance of self-care in our recovery, okay? Let me X that out. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I am Christine Moore. I am a certified peer recovery coach. And what does that mean exactly? It means that I'm someone with lived experience, meaning that I struggled with an addiction to prescription drugs for over 15 years. And by the grace of God, I now have been in recovery for 6 years. So I help others who struggle with all kinds of addictions. And I help them get onto the road of recovery. And not only that, but as you can see here, I help people thrive in recovery. That is my mission, to help you, person who is struggling, to thrive in your recovery. All right, so let me make sure everyone can hear me. Yeah, okay, volume's good. Yep. Okay, cool. So I struggled with addiction for 15 years, and I struggled with pain pills, sleeping pills mainly. And, when I first struggled with addiction, I was still able to practice self-care. I actually was a fitness competitor for a while in my early addiction. But as my disease progressed, I found myself focusing less on my self-care. And when I say self-care, I don't just mean physical. I mean on every level, in my mind, my emotions, my spirit, my soul, and my body. And so today I wanted to go over not only is this helpful for people who struggle with addiction or who are in recovery, but this is just good for anyone. Self-care is so important. And this is how I think about self-care. So I'm drinking my smoothie right now. Okay. Let's imagine this is a cup of water. Okay. I'm constantly, as a mom, as a wife, as a friend, as a coworker, I'm pouring out to my family, my kids, my husband, people that I work with, my community, pouring. And then this finally gets empty, right? So it's important to practice self-care. And it looks different for everybody, okay? For me, let's see, waking up, reading my Bible, that's pouring into my cup, okay? Prayer, pouring into my cup. Worshiping is pouring into my cup. Exercise, going to my Orange Theory classes, going to the gym, walking in nature, going for a hike. I love taking my dog to a place called River Place Nature Trails and just being in nature, spending time with my kids, jumping on the trampoline with my son, going and getting my nails done, getting my hair done, whatever, going and getting a spray tan, just anything that fills you up. So it fills up my cup. And then eventually my cup is overflowing. Okay. And then that's where I can serve my family. I can serve my community. I don't empty my cup, but I serve from my overflow. And that is where I do my best work, where I am my best self, and I'm able to help those around me, and I'm able to serve in a greater way. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so there is this book that I've been reading with my group that I facilitate on Mondays and Thursdays. If you are interested in attending, if you go to mara-international.org, you can find the meetings that I facilitate on Mondays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. And as a group, we are reading this book called Rewired by Erica Spiegelman. And we have been going through chapter by chapter. And this week and last week, we've been talking about self-care. If you are interested in getting this book, you can get it anywhere. I got it on Amazon. You can buy it used for like $6 to $10. I also have heard that you can download the free PDF version online. So you might want to check that out. This is probably one of the best recovery books I have read in a long time. And on chapter 6, it talks about self-care. And let me read a couple of quotes here to start off with. Tara Brach says, but this revolutionary act of treating ourselves tenderly can begin to undo the aversive messages of a lifetime. And then Deborah Day says, nourishing yourself in a way that helps you blossom in the direction you want to go is attainable, and you are worth the effort. Isn't that good? I love that. Okay, I just want to make sure. I had some issues on my live the other day. Okay, we're good. Okay, so let me go to the chapter or the section about caring for your physical needs. So that's what we're going to cover first, okay? I'm just going to read a little bit of this and then we'll dive deeper into it. So caring for your physical needs. When we think about nourishing the physical body, the first thing that comes to mind is eating well. I have my smoothie here. It's full of fruits and vegetables. Many drug users and alcoholics neglect this basic act of self-love, subsisting on junk food, takeout, and in some cases, forget to feed themselves altogether. I know I've done that many times. Learning to enjoy 3 healthy, delicious meals a day can be a wonderful adventure in self-discovery, and cooking itself can be a creative new hobby. That's definitely something when I got clean is I love the act of cooking now. Before it was just like a chore and I didn't enjoy it, but now when I cook, I turn on the music and I dance and I enjoy the smells, the aromas of the food. And, I look at it as, an act of service and an act of love towards my family. So instead of looking at it in a negative way, I now look at it in a whole new perspective. For those addicted to food, self-care may look different. So in this case, the compulsive eater must also embark on a process of exploration, but one that seeks out non-edible forms of nourishment that provide equal comfort. Luckily, the realm of the senses is vast. Take our sense of smell. I don't know about you guys, but I have an incredible sense of smell. Sometimes I don't like it because there are things that I don't like to smell, like my son's dirty socks after baseball. But we can feed our nose buds with incense, scented candles, fresh flowers, perfumes, garden herbs, or aromatherapy. Going on a scavenger hunt to unearth all the smells we find the most pleasing and replenishing. How many of you have just gone for a walk and just simply noticed the smell of fresh air, or you walk by some flowers? Just noticing those little things now, because when we were in our active addiction, we were just so numbed out to every little detail. And now, our senses are awakened when we are in recovery, and we can notice the beautiful things that God has given us so freely. Let's see here. Too many of us have long neglected our sense of touch as well. We may never have experienced the joyful release of a therapeutic massage or the delight of a simple bubble bath. Walking barefoot in the hot sand or lying down in a wet field of grass can ground us and connect us to nature in ways we can hardly fathom. How many of you have just decided to take off your shoes and go walk in the grass? It's such a grounding exercise, and I highly, highly recommend it. And just feeling the earth, feeling the ground. It is such an earthy, just grounding experience. And not many I know that I never did it before I got into recovery ever, except for when I was like a kid. But what about, just if you have a partner or a spouse, and, just giving each other a massage, and just, just that sense of just the human touch is so powerful. It's like every time I put my boys to bed, they're always like, "Mom, please scratch my back." Cause I've got long nails, and they're always like, they just love it. And the human touch is so powerful. Or one of my favorite things to do is go to the beach and put my feet in the sand. That is like probably one of the top 3 things that I love to do in my life. Walking barefoot in the hot sand or lying down in a wet field of grass can ground us and connect us to nature in ways we can hardly fathom. How many of you have ever gone for a run when it's raining outside? That is a really cool feeling. I did that. I've done that a few times, just when it's drizzling. But then there was one time I got caught in the pretty heavy downpour, but it was just one of the best experiences I have ever had. Our sense of hearing also needs to be nourished. When was the last time you listened to an opera? The rain beating on the window, your favorite rock band. And we often take our sense of sight for granted. But when you think of your eyes as organs worthy of a feast, you might be inspired to visit an art gallery, climb to the top of a mountain to view a sunset, or stroll through a whimsical antique shop. So I really want to encourage you. I'm trying to read this to kind of get your just your imagination and just get some ideas flowing and trying new things. That's the thing that I've loved about recovery, is just trying new things. And not everything I try I like, but I'm not going to figure out if I like something new unless I try it, right? Okay. Where was I? Addiction narrows our sensual palates, casting us into a gray netherworld devoid of beauty, delight, and surprise. As you begin to practice caring for your body and its boundless desire for new stimuli, you may feel as if you're being born for the first time. I don't know if any of you resonate with that, but that is huge to me. I was so numbed out, you guys, and so full of shame and guilt, stuck there for so long. Some of the things that I do now, even though I'm 44 years old now, I feel like I'm being born for the first time because I'm experiencing new, beautiful moments in my life. So as you begin to practice caring for your body and its boundless desire for new stimuli, you may feel as if you're being born for the first time. And in a way, you are. Every time you practice living in the present moment through nourishing your sense of taste, smell, sight, sound, or touch, you form a new pathway in your brain that is recorded and strengthened. This pathway becomes a blueprint for the future, assuring that so long as you continue your new self-nourishing behaviors, you will no longer feel the need to numb out with substances. The present will have become a safe and rewarding place rather than a nightmare from which to flee. This is so good, you guys. I hope that this is resonating with you. And it's so important there's times in active addiction where we just numb out, but when we get clean and sober, sometimes we forget what we enjoy because it's been so long since we've done anything that has nourished our bodies, our soul, our minds. And I really encourage the peers that I work with, I encourage them to write down a joy list. You might have heard of this before. But sometimes when we are stuck in our heads or we're obsessing about a problem, an argument that we had with our spouse, or just whatever is going wrong in our lives, we get so focused on it and we forget what brings us joy. So I always recommend journaling and writing down a joy list. could be whatever it is that brings you joy. I'll just name a few. For me, it's waking up in the morning and having an amazing cup of coffee, sitting outside and closing my eyes and listening to the wind, and then noticing the birds, and then noticing the trees flowing and just the sound of that. Going and hiking at one of my favorite hiking trails and listening to, there's like this beautiful stream of water that flows through it, and just listening to the water trickling down. It's just such a, so I can't even explain it, how it makes me feel, but I feel so connected to God when I am in nature. Another thing that I love to do is, just spending time with my kids. Like this weekend, I did the most simple thing with my kid. We jumped on the trampoline. Okay. I used to be a gymnast, so I still enjoy jumping on the trampoline, and he loves it too. And we played this really fun game called Add On, where I do a skill and then he has to repeat it and then add on a skill of his own. And then I have to repeat that and just keep adding on. And then eventually we have like 20 skills we got to do in a row and try and remember it. And it's just a lot of fun. And it was a beautiful day. I mean, the weather was perfect. And, we spent a couple hours out there just playing Add on the trampoline. And then we spent some time, we were playing tennis for, just hitting the ball against the garage wall back and forth and seeing how many times we could do it in a row. And we played this game of like, how many times, of course he won, I'm not very good at tennis at all, but just simple little things like that. And then taking the dog for a ride in the car, and we went to this one pond that's down the street from where we live, and we had some bread and we were feeding the ducks. I mean, all of that was free, simple, and just it nourished our souls. I could just see a difference in my son. Like, there's a lot of times where I'm like, okay, go watch a movie or go play video games because mom has a lot of things that she's got to get done. And so it's very easy for me to do that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be intentional today. And there's going to be no phone, no electronics, and we're going outside. And I'm telling you, it was just a beautiful moment that probably, we'll remember forever. And yeah, I know this is like super simple, you guys. I mean, there's nothing complicated about it, but I know for myself, and I know other addicts and alcoholics that I've talked to, we forget about the most beautiful pleasures in life because we're so numbed out. I mean, I love lighting a candle. I love playing music. I love cooking. I even enjoy doing dishes now because I just focus on the feel of the soap and just, I'm like present and I'm in the moment and I'm just, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but anyway, I hope that something I said today resonated with you guys. And whether you are, whether you struggle or have struggled with addiction, I think that this is good for anyone to brush up on and just, remind ourselves just the importance of self-care. And so many people, including myself, for the longest time, I thought that self-care was selfish. I really did. I was like, yeah, I would love to go and get a massage and all that, but I don't want to spend the money, or, I could be doing something with my kids, or I could be, cleaning the house or something like that. But you know what? I go and get that massage, and let me tell you, I'm a much happier person to be around. I serve my family in a greater way. And it doesn't have to be a massage. It could be anything. I love going and practicing yoga outside, or just going for a hike in nature, whatever it is, reading a good book, taking the time to put work to the side, put responsibilities to the side, and making yourself a priority. It can be very difficult to do. A lot of moms struggle with this, the mom guilt. But you guys, just like I was talking about earlier about your cup, you want to serve from the overflow. You don't want to serve from an empty cup. You want to serve from your overflow. So make that joy list and practice a few things on your joy list every day. Every day, pour into yourself. And it's not selfish, because when your cup is full and overflowing, you serve in a greater way. All right, my friends, thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section, or you can send me a direct message, whatever you prefer. I am Christine H. Moore, Thriving in Recovery on Instagram and Facebook. On TikTok, I'm Christine H. Moore. You can find me on YouTube, Thriving in Recovery as well. I hope that this blessed you, and definitely reach out if you are needing help or just anything that you want to talk about, questions, comments, anything. I love to get feedback because I want to create content that is going to help you and bring you value. Because I can think about all kinds of topics, but I want to hear from you guys so that I can help you in a greater way. All right. God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next live. Bye for now.